Hey there, everybody. This is our morning edition of Big Brother 25 Live Feed Spoilers. Today is day 8 in the house. Now, you probably already clocked that, the energy's a little bit different here at the start of this. And of course, there is a reason because once again, in the world of Big Brother, we find ourselves in a spot where we have to talk about somebody saying something incredibly offensive. And it's so frustrating because it's just like, why are we here again? Like, why is this happening in 2023?
Listen, we dealt with this in season 15. We have dealt with this for years since then. After season 15, I don't know why CBS, I know you're watching this. Can you please put something into the contracts that if this happens, you are just expelled? Like, it's enough. And we're going to get way deeper into this of everything that happened.
Yeah.
This is about Luke, in case you guys don't know who we're talking about. Luke he needs to just be expelled. I don't want to watch another season where somebody does this and they end up in second place like Gina Marie. I'm not here for this. It's 2023.
And didn't you guys specifically institute this diversity initiative years ago so that you could say you had a greater sense of representation? You were preaching equality within the Big Brother house, and
then you need to have this protection in here that nobody should have to deal with this. Nobody. That if you cross that line, you are gone. Because it makes it that people have to play a game a very specific way.
Yeah, like we'll talk about a lot of other things over the last couple days on the feeds, but it's just this happened overnight. It's something that
I'm so irritated.
I know. It can't be ignored. We have to hit it head on. So we're just gonna get right into it here. So it's overnight. Luke is in this conversation with Hisam, Corey, Jared. I don't think larger context matters. Like, I really don't. So I don't think there's no need to like dive further into it. He says a word that starts with the letter N. We all know what that is. I don't need to elaborate. It's there. Just send him out. Like, this does not have to be complicated. Like, I think it can be just as simple as you take him into the diary room. You tell him,
you're out.
Pack your stuff. You're gone. I don't need to see some elaborate redemption arc on the show where other people have to educate him on why saying this is wrong, because if you don't know that saying it is wrong in 2023, you are just not a good person. I'm sorry.
And it doesn't matter anyways, because we all saw that Aaron interview with Julie where, she tried to be like, oh, I didn't know. And Julie called it all out. And guess what? She is the most successful Big Brother YouTuber out there. She has over 300,000 subscribers. It did nothing to her. All of us Big Brother YouTubers combined don't have as many subscribers as Aaron. Like, just stop. There has to be zero tolerance for any sort of racism on this show across the board. You say it, you're out. Done. Stop this. Like, I really love Big Brother, but this aspect of Big Brother, I don't like. I don't want to watch. I absolutely just hate it. Every season we're here having to talk about this.
Yeah, and it's like the blame, some of it obviously goes on casting. Some of it goes on production for the terrible way that they've handled this for like so many years.
All of it goes on CBS for not having a no tolerance policy. All the blame goes on that for sure. 100%.
Yeah. And I just feel like at the end of the day, it's your show. You can do whatever you want. Like, you can kick people out. There's nothing stopping you from kicking people out. You don't get a chance to talk to Julie. You don't get a chance to do anything. You have you have actual punishment within the game, and then in public, you can deal with the punishment and fallout of that. And one other thing I got to say about this, just when it comes to Jared, because I've seen there be people online being like, why hasn't Jared spoken up more and done more? Like, I'm a white guy. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Jared should do X, Y, or Z. That's not my place. I just think it's awful that this show puts Jared in a place where he's there to play a game. He's not there to like have
for a lot of money.
Yeah, and his mom is in the game too.
Yeah.
And he shouldn't be having to think about, how do I deal with this racism while also trying to compete in this game where there could be game repercussions if I speak up about something. Like, that's a really awful position to put him in. He shouldn't be in it. Just send Luke out. I don't care what the consequences are. I don't care what it means for this week, for Kirsten, for anything else. Just send him out. Move on with the freaking game.
Yeah, he needs to just be sent out. I agree. Like Jared has to deal with this however Jared wants to deal with this or feels like he has to deal with this. It is not for us to say. It is not for anybody to say. It is only for him to say.
Yeah.
It's his choice. It's happened to him.
Yeah.
So, and it does suck because he is in this position where he's like, oh my God, I'm playing this game. I'm playing this game for $750,000. My mom is also in this game. Like, you know, I can react to this and put a target on myself, or I can not react to this and maybe get a little bit further. And he should never have had to been in that position in the first place. Neither should any of the other house guests that have ever been put in this position. This is happening too often, too long, for so many seasons. It's enough.
Yeah.
I'm really done with it. It's these situations that make me not want to cover the show.
Yeah, it's infuriating. It's frustrating.
It's hard to support CBS when they don't do anything about this and they don't have anything in place to stop this. Like, just put something in place. Like, let us go forward with this show where this isn't a thing anymore. That if you do this, you're bounced.
Yeah. I hope next time we're talking that he's just gone and we can all move forward. I don't want to say I have a lot of faith in CBS because they haven't given me much of a reason to have faith over time.
No, if they didn't do anything after season 15, they're not going to do anything now. So yeah, that's where we are with that right now. And let's now move into the next negative topic. Let's talk about Cameron.
This is the thing, guys. It's just like we're going to be real with you with what's going on in the game. Like, that's just, it's what's happening. So, okay. Riley has been in a really terrible spot over the last, 24 hours in particular, where, she made some big game mistakes. Like, she got drunk with power. She went completely overboard. She played way too hard. She put herself in a really bad position. That's all on her. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have any sympathy for like the game mistakes that Riley has made. And, we've seen people in the past be, very upset or even play, the tiny violin for themselves after they've screwed things up as HOH. That's normal. What's different is I'm just really uncomfortable with how Cameron is treating her. He is isolating her from other people. He is manipulating her while she is clearly vulnerable and crying and going through all of this stuff. He's talking like he is this white knight, this father figure who is going to save her. And like, she lost her dad when she was young. So this is like extra just like inappropriate and manipulative. Yeah, it just doesn't feel right. Like, I'm not comfortable at all watching this. Like, I do have empathy for Riley in this particular situation, just because like what he is doing, in my view, is making her feel worse and making it harder for her to get out of this. And because she's being manipulated, it's hard to fully understand that when you're in that situation and you're like so emotionally vulnerable. And like, I don't know if there's not necessarily an easy answer to this. I hope that somebody can just get her out of this position. Like, I obviously want Cameron to go too. I do not like watching him at all.
No. And I mean, we're only giving updates 3 times a week. So there's also the incident that happened with Kirsten as well, and things that he has said to her as well, that it's just Cameron and Luke both just need to go. Yeah. And what I'm really surprised by is with this veto win, with the sort of everything that was kind of going on before the Luke stuff, that there wasn't a situation where he was just like, you know what? Here you go, Cameron, you're on the block. Like, he's making people very uncomfortable. Yeah. He's being very weird, strange, in a way that doesn't feel like kind of the normal oddball, like us.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. It's just that, like, I don't think that there's a lot of people in this house that I know there's a lot of just people who are so oblivious to a lot of things, but I think there are people who are starting to realize that, okay, there's something very off about this guy and how he's acting. And like, I think that something should be done about it. And I think at a certain point, you have to sort of start to think outside the game. Like, there has obviously been a lot of talk about, okay, if is Riley going to be a some sort of threat, or is Riley going to be a target moving forward? It's a 100-day season. Like, you're going to have a lot of time to get Riley out of the game. I just think, why not focus, at least for now, on trying to make it a better house, a better environment, like where this stuff isn't happening, because it's going to make for a better season for all of you.
Yeah, especially at this point in the game. I mean, and at this season, it's like we've seen problematic people in this game before go real far. Like I said earlier, Gina Marie's in second place.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Like, why?
Yeah.
How did that happen? How wasn't she just on the block immediately? And this is a perfect time, house guests, for you guys to have no tolerance of this. If CBS is not going to do the right thing and make a no tolerance policy, you guys can make a no tolerance policy. Yeah. Whoever's the HOH next week, if it is not Luke and it is not Cameron, then they go on the block and get one of them out. And then the next week, get the other one out.
It's pretty simple, guys. It's just, it does not have to be something that's long or drawn out. Just, show this, that you're not going to take a stand for this as people, and then you can all fight it out from there on out.
Yes, it's one thing to have like people causing drama and stuff like that, like an Izzy or Riley a little bit, like causing household drama, gameplay, and then there's Luke and Cameron, and it is different.
Yeah, like the other drama, like we like talking about the other drama. Like we'll talk about Izzy a little bit later on, and that is fun. Like, I will tell you that right now. But
poor Cirie.
I love Cirie. Okay, so we'll try to transition here into a little bit more lighthearted stuff.
Yeah, sorry that this has been as sort of heavy as it is, but it needs to be talked about. It can't be ignored, and no.
Okay, all right. Well, we will move forward here, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you guys are enjoying this discussion. We will be here talking about Big Brother. We do also have live chats on our Patreon. The link is in the description, and we do that every Tuesday night.
Yeah, we did last night. It was really fun. There was some good Big Brother discussion going on over there. So yeah, join our Patreon. You can join in our live feed discussions over there as well, every Tuesday night. Okay,
so we're going to move forward here with the thinking that CBS is going to suck. Producers are not going to do the right thing. And
absolutely. That is their track record.
Yeah. So Kirsten is probably going home tomorrow night. Like, unless something drastic changes, we all just have to prepare for that. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So Kirsten, like, she had a long talk with Cirie, but it was more kind of about just like patching up sort of their tension over early gameplay than like anything else. There wasn't really a lot of progress made there.
Yeah. I mean, America's told her to kind of pitch herself as like a shield, that she'll always be sort of a target, everybody was going to want to put her up, sort of thing. And she may say, she was, we saw her kind of like talking about this and practicing this a bit, that she's going to try to say that Felicia is like this super pawn. If you're sitting up against her, then you're for sure going home. But that's not really an argument to me. That it's sort of like, okay, well, if Felicia's the super pawn, then she's not a threat to me. It just means that if I'm sitting beside her, sure, that's a problem. But if she's a super pawn, then she's not going to win the game. And I don't say that as somebody who doesn't think she's going to win the game. I love her. She's going to win the game. But that's what it comes across as. If it's like, oh, she's a super pawn. Okay, cool. So she's not a threat? Then you got to go.
It's a crummy position that Kirsten is in. It's just
tough.
I think everybody just seems to be moving forward. Nobody seems to be taking this seriously. Like, there's always a chance. Like, I think that's a big lesson in Big Brother. You never know what's going to happen. Tomorrow morning, everything could be different and Kirsten's figured something out. Like, I just think it's unlikely, as I like Kirsten. I feel like she got really hosed over because she was nominated in the first place just because of this like stupid premiere twist.
Boot in the butt 100 times. Yeah. And now all of a sudden she's going home, like,
so
frustrating.
I know. It's just like, yes, she made some game mistakes, and yeah, maybe she would have been nominated anyway because of all that, but it's like,
Maybe.
you never know. She might not have been in a position where she said some of the stuff that she said or tried to stir the pot because she felt like she was in danger. So, I mean, another couple of things here about Riley's meltdown that does not have to do with Cameron, and this is the part of it where, like, I have a lot of sympathy for her with what's going on with Cameron, but
Yep.
her also doing the winning HOH is the worst thing ever. No one can relate to me. She's trapped on some pedestal. Okay, Riley.
Oh, stop.
Riley. Okay.
I said this before in a few videos ago. I think that, I know not everybody agrees, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody put on my hard
yeah, yeah.
I think that winning the first HOH is really important. But it's also important how you deal with winning the first HOH. I think nobody knows anybody in that first week. Being the HOH, you have people coming to you, people sharing information with you, people making deals with you, people want to spend time with you so, you know, they don't go home, but real relationships can develop from that.
I think ultimately.
So poor you, Riley. You blew it. Like, it's such an important HOH.
It's true, and you know you're right in the extent that we've seen people win the first HOH win the game, and like it's something that if you have confidence in yourself that you can be a good player, that you can not let the power go to your head, like it's an important one to win. Now, I do not have that level of self-confidence. If I am playing Big Brother, I am not winning the first HOH because I'm too scared. I'm a coward, and I'm gonna be afraid of what is gonna happen to me up there. But it's just like, Riley, if you even had one shred of doubt, you just shouldn't have tried to win this because clearly you are not up for this. I don't think you're capable of handling this level of power. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but I don't think you're right for the game, unfortunately.
Listen, she doesn't know till she's there. This is a really hard game, and I think people don't realize just how tough it is until they're in the house, like truly, and especially then you're in the house and you're in power, like. People just don't know until you're there. I mean, we've never been in the house, but we've been to tapings and stuff like that. And it's not the same at all. But we do know people from the game, and they have said as well, it is really different being in the house. It is extremely difficult. There's a lot of pressure.
Okay, so here's some of the stuff I'm enjoying right now about the game. I love that Corey thinks he can be a double agent while Jared at the same time is a double agent. The double agent Spider-Man meme that is sort of going on with all of this, where there's like, you know, there are still two sides. There is still like the, you know, team Cirie, Professor, whatever you want to, and then there's like the team Riley. Like there's still but there's people who are sort of splintering off and are kind of like playing the middle, and it's like every one of you guys think you're special. You ain't that special. I mean, some of you are obviously immune to the idea that Jared is the ultimate double agent because his literal mom is in the game. But
absolutely.
It's just, all of this is really, really funny. Now, Jared.
Oh, Jared.
Okay, I will say this. My opinion of Jared is rising slightly when it comes to the game.
Yep.
It's
okay to fumble at the beginning of the game. I mean, there's a lot of new people. There's a lot of information, especially this season. It is pretty chaotic. There are a million alliances. Yes, there's a split house, but like you said, there's a lot of sort of splintering off and people going back and forth and whatever. It's confusing.
Yeah. Jared has managed to do a barrel roll out of the clown car for now.
Nice.
I'm not saying you're not going to get back into it later, Jared. But
I have faith in you, Jared. You're going to stay out of it.
I love what you're doing with Riley in the extent that like he has sort of fed her and some others on her side that like Heisem could be a target moving forward. And like he's being really careful and sort of figuring out people that he can sort of put out there as possible people to go after that aren't going to directly, you know, hurt him, that aren't going to directly hurt Cirie. And it's really smart. I think he's starting to figure out his positioning in the game. Well, Jared, you can't find a way to expose yourself at this point. Like, you really shouldn't win HOH.
No, absolutely. I think Jared needs to wait until there's way less people closer to the end.
And, you know, Cirie seems to be actually kind of contemplating, do I keep Riley for a little while? I don't know if this is due to Riley feeling so bad for herself, but it just seems like the idea has sort of floated around.
Yeah, for sure. I would absolutely keep Riley around. We've watched her have a really bad HOH in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, and that she can really shoot herself in the foot. So, I mean, she's not a bad person to keep around.
It's also just like Riley seems to think that she has Cirie and Felicia and that like they're fully on her side. She's got
Right.
their full support.
Right. So for Cirie, in Riley's mind, she's not really a threat because she's kind of with them.
This is the bad news, everybody. And by bad news, this is bad news for me.
I know, because it looks like Blue or Jag might be bigger targets. Listen, I know your guy Jag. He's great, but yeah, no, I don't want to sit at the end with him.
I just wanted
because he is great.
I wanted to live in a world where we had Jag in the game without Riley, because I think that my guy Jag he will still find a way to kind of figure things out in the game if he's not hampered by like this enormous target who is extremely emotional, having a very hard time, really chaotic. I think it is really sinking his game. And the problem here, of course, is that Cirie is smart. And I think Cirie is going to be aware of the idea that like, why am I going to get rid of the person who's having like the really hard time? And seems to be kind of what, when it's like Blue and Jag are much bigger sort of threats in that sense. I kind of feel like somebody on Riley's side has to win HOH if Jag is going to be okay moving into the next week.
Okay, speaking of chaos, let's talk about Izzy and this complete chaos. She's just like changing targets. She's following Cirie around like constantly. Cirie really, really, really needs to find a way to get rid of her. And it can't be Cirie that gets rid of her, because Izzy will go out the door being like, guess what, everybody? Jared and Cirie are related. She will absolutely pull the chute on that as she goes out the door. Cirie, this is going to be, if Cirie can pull this off, where she can get somebody else to get Izzy out for her, then nobody else knows the secret. Like, next week is really important for Cirie to get Izzy out.
She is so intense. This is my comparison to Izzy. This maybe is for a very, very tiny percentage of people. For those of you who, are like basketball or occasionally watch ESPN, Stephen A. Smith is this talk show host, and like he hosts a show called First Take that's on in the morning, and it's like people are just getting up, having their coffee. You turn this on, and he just is on there being like, and LeBron James is the best, but he's just like shouting the whole time. It's like, it's 8 a.m. Like, why are you so loud? And that's what I feel like with Izzy. It's like when she just wakes up, you walk in, she's just like in a room with Cirie, and she's just like, her eyes are popping out of her head. It feels like her face is about to explode off. And I'm like, Izzy, it's 8 a.m.
I know, and Cirie is so frustrated by this, but kind of at the same time, she's enabling some of Izzy's like wild behavior, probably to make her a bit of a bigger target.
I think this is part of, I guess, Cirie's Survivor playbook, or anybody who's played reality TV long enough.
Yep.
It's a good thing to have someone who is this erratic, who is this intense,
and bringing that much attention to themselves, for sure.
It's very, I am just as impressed by Cirie as a game player as I thought I would be going into all of this. Like, she's such an obvious target, but it's just like there are people who obviously need to go out for very specific reasons we've outlined, but then there's also people who just like strategically keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Absolutely. And I think there's enough bigger targets in the house than Cirie, which is wild to even be saying, but I think she's got enough people around that she could actually go the distance. Which is crazy. Like I've said, I really love Cirie, but if I walked into the house and I saw her, she has to go immediately or she's just going to run us all over.
Yeah, you should be feeling pretty good, though, about your Felicia. Like, I think Felicia...
I absolutely feel good about Felicia. I mean, she's so wonderful. And I feel like even if Kirsten goes out and tries to say that Felicia's the ultimate pawn, that can, take away a bit of her shine, where she's going to have to battle out of that, where she has to prove herself now that she's not the ultimate pawn, that she is playing the game, and she is playing the game. And I'm hoping that, as more time goes on, that people will continue to see what she is doing.
I will just say here as we tie this up, Matt, I still love you. I know we haven't talked about you here, but
No.
I still love you. You're still my guy. I'm still rooting for you. All right, we'll tie all this up.
Felicia.
Okay, you know what? I'll chant Felicia. I'll chant Felicia for you. Like I really do. I do like her a lot, just because she was like one of my people pregame. I will.
My people pregame and during game and when she wins.
The only person who doesn't like Felicia is whoever is supplying the microphones for this season. But okay, no, all right. So we'll tie this up. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. I know there was some tough stuff that's going on in the house right now. I wish they'll make changes. I doubt it, unfortunately. But
yeah, I doubt it. I thought they would after season 15, but we're here now.
Yeah, we're here now.
10 seasons later, same old. We're all in the clown car.
Well, we'll be back, of course, later this week. We'll have more Big Brother coverage coming. So hit that subscribe button. Like we said earlier, we do have a live every Tuesday night on our Patreon talking Big Brother. So check out that link in the description. We'll see you here next time.